Hey everybody, Ricers here, and today we have a very special video. We're kicking off Hunter x Hunter Saturdays. That's right, a brand new series to this channel. Super excited about it. Hunter x Hunter has been one of my favorite series for the longest time. Ever since I first read it, it's been up there with the rest of them. Super excited about this series. Today we're just going to talk a little bit about what to expect and some of my favorite things about Hunter x Hunter. So let's jump right into it. Now, Hunter x Hunter holds a very special place in my heart, as it does with many, and the first thing that I think about, and many as well do, when you hear Hunter x Hunter, you think about Nen. The power system in the world of Hunter x Hunter is, in my opinion, the best and most complete power system of every anime and manga that I personally have read or watched myself. Now, if you've read or seen a series with a better, more complete power system, let me know in the comments down below. But just real quick to talk about some of the reasons why I think Nen is the best. Firstly, it's very grounded, has very strict rules and principles built into it that are very relevant no matter what level of skill you get to. Sometimes in series, when you first are introduced to that power system, you get, okay, oh, you can do this, but then it kind of gets left out as you get stronger. And Hunter x Hunter, this is not the case at all. Perfect example, one of the first fights, big fights with Nen that we get to see is Hisoka versus Castro. And Castro loses to Hisoka, not even being able to see his attacks, but he could have simply used Ian on his eyes. He may have been able to catch the bungee gum. Now, whether that would have changed the outcome of the fight, probably not. Hisoka's a monster, cunning as all hell, but it's a perfect example of how even those early principles that we're taught in the series, you're looking at a very, very high-level fight between Nen masters, and a very basic principle is forgotten by one of these guys, and that is something that you do not always get to see. Beyond that, the Nen categories are amazing. You have 6 different ones, and what's really cool about this compared to other series is that in other series you might, let's say you're an enhancer, you could never use transmuter or emitter abilities. But in Hunter x Hunter, you can. Now, obviously, we know that if you're a natural enhancer, you can't use anything to 100% as you can with enhancement. But when you look at any other series where, you can only do enhancement if that was the case, versus Hunter x Hunter that lets you explore all possibilities except specialization. But, that's its own ball game, and that deserves, oh my gosh, I could make a video talking hours and hours about the quirks and different things that go into specialization. But, Nen is just so versatile. It really enables the user to be as creative as possible. And if you can think of it, you can accomplish it. And that's the beauty of it. Even if you're naturally born as an emitter and you want to enhance your abilities like an enhancer might, or you want to add some transmutation to it, you can, and it really allows for a really beautiful diversity of powers in such a great world. The characters of Hunter x Hunter are some of the best of any anime that I've ever seen. The main cast is brilliant. Gon, Killua, Leoria, and Kurapika. Kurapika particularly, a strong drive behind him to avenge his clan. You've got Gon, who's just kind of happy-go-lucky, wants to enjoy life, just see the world and be a hunter and do all the things that only hunters can do. And Killua was kind of along with the ride. Eventually he starts to develop his own senses and create his own motives, but ultimately he's just kind of there because Gon is his first friend and he just wants to tag along with Gon, and it's great. And then obviously Leorio, who obviously, I don't even understand how this man is a teenager. He's clearly a 30-year-old middle-aged man. Do you guys really believe he's a teenager? I still think he's lying about it, but you let me know if you think he's lying about it or not. Obviously, his goals are med school, become a doctor. You know how it is. You know what? A strong job for you, Leorio. I like to give you shit about looking old, but, what can you do? You can't help the way you look. I just like to shoot the shit with you, buddy. Beyond that, there's so many great characters from all the hunters. Morel, Netero, Jing, Pariston Hill, the Zodiacs. So many cool characters with so many great abilities. The villains, Meruem. Oof. whew, the king himself. You know how it is. You've got Razor and the Greed Island arc, super cool. I've been watching Haikyuu recently, so I was thinking about Razor, and I was like, oh, okay, you know what? I wonder how Karasuno would deal with Razor right there. I'd like to see that match. That would be cool. It'd be really cool if someone like made that. Someone with like animation skills. That'd be really cool. If I ever meet someone who's an animator of any sorts, I should commission them to do something like that. That'd be a really interesting video to make, like a nice little anime episode crossover. I feel like that'd be really cool, yeah. But I'm talking about the characters right now. I want to talk about the Phantom Troop real quick. Probably one of the best organizations of character. Organization's not the right word to use here. What's the right word to use? I would say they're just such a cool group. They're a ragtag bunch of bandits. They're awesome. They're so cool. They're so much fun to watch interact with one another. Now, I'm also going to talk about Hisoka real quick. Obviously, he's not a real troop member, but Hisoka's just the best in my opinion. Probably my favorite character in this series. His motivations are so unique. And I remember when he has his fight against Castro and Machi has her little inner dialogue about Hisoka. She's like, he believes himself to be the strongest and he will prove that. You know, Hisoka's motivations are purely to be the strongest and to prove that he is the strongest and fight all the strongest people. He's honestly a lot like Goku in that sense, except the main difference here being that he doesn't really have morals or anything. He's happy to kill people because he believes himself to be the strongest. Therefore, he can do whatever he wants. But, man, I love Hisoka. He's so awesome. He's such a great character. And I got a question for you guys real quick here. Do you consider Hisoka to be a villain? Yes or no? Comments below. Let me know what you think here. I personally don't, because when I think of the villains of Hunter x Hunter, I think of people that are diametrically opposed to or trying to interfere with and stop the main characters in some way, and Hisoka doesn't really fit that bill. He wants to fight Gon, and he's eventually, if Gon, we don't know if the series is going to continue, but let's say Gon gets his Nen back and he becomes super strong, he would eventually have his Heaven's Arena match like Hisoka had with Chrollo, Hisoka versus Gon. That would be awesome, but we'll just have to see if Togashi ever ends up writing more of this series, or if we're just going to have to continue to talk about what we have so far. The world of Hunter x Hunter is absolutely one of the most beautiful in all of anime and manga. Togashi is fantastic at creating lush, beautiful scenery, whether it's a big shot just trying to showcase landscapes, or simply in the background. He pays great attention to detail. It's always beautiful and just ties everything together so well, you know. The story is fantastic. The characters are amazing. The powers are so unique and cool. And then to also have such a good landscape surrounding you, it's great. You know, you look anywhere from Whale Island, you look at the Chimera Ant arc, one thing that I really notice is that those like dark, earthy tones are something that Togashi's really good at, you know, creating these dark, beautiful forests. I mean, he's something else. He really is. I mean, go back and just like look. I'll throw up a few pictures throughout me talking about this, but he's just so good at creating those great landscapes. But my favorite, and the one I have the most connection with, has to be Greed Island. Now, I remember when I first watched this, it was summertime for me, and I had just gotten inside from being out, so, you know, that heat is kind of still coursing through me, and I sit down and I watch the episode for the very first time of Gon and Killua arriving in Greed Island, and there's this very vast plain they're on. The sky is beautiful and blue and so expansive, and I have just very vivid connections with that scene because it just embodies that summertime feeling for me. I felt that connection, and I felt as warm as I'm sure Gon and Killua did when they got there, and to me that's so amazing, and there are so few series that can really elicit those types of responses from you, and that goes to show just how beautiful Hunter x Hunter is. The story of Hunter x Hunter is such a unique and interesting one. Now, we were just talking about Greed Island, so I'm going to start here just to kind of let you guys realize just how crazy this arc is. Greed Island is an isekai. If you're unfamiliar with the term, isekai is just to refer to going into another world. If you've seen Sword Art Online, Overlord, the series where, oh, the character comes from our world to another world. Oh, That's all isekai is. Anyways, the fact that you have this inserted into a shonen series where you have like a long-standing world that exists, and they leave it, go to their own little world with its own rules and games, and then leave, and it makes perfect sense. It doesn't interfere with the flow of anything. It actually adds to it. We get introduced to some very cool characters there. We actually get introduced to the character who ends up being able to free Chrollo, who will eventually go on to fight Hisoka if you're a manga reader. Now, beyond just the amazingness that is the Great Island arc, there's so much more. I mean, when you start off Hunter x Hunter, it's this kind of like happy-go-lucky, oh, he wants to be a hunter, this will be interesting. But it gets so dark so quick. I mean, the Phantom Troop stuff with the Mafia and all the carnage there in York New City, and then obviously the Chimera Ant arc and everyone just getting slaughtered in the attempts to put these Chimera Ants down. It's crazy. And it's just such a rich story filled with twists and turns, and it really is one of those series that, you know, especially the first time you go through, but even upon rewatching, every storyline is so unique, and all the characters really get to showcase their own throughout the whole series. They get to have their moments to shine, they get to have their moments to fail, they get to win, lose. It's such a beautiful storyline. The characters get to go all over the place, visit the entire world, see so many great things, witness so many amazing Nen abilities. It's such a wonderful, wonderful series. I don't have too much to say about Hunter x Hunter today, guys. I wanted to keep this video pretty short and sweet, just kind of introducing Hunter x Hunter Saturdays, gas up Hunter x Hunter, obviously, talk about some of my favorite things about the series, and obviously, in the weeks, months, and years to come, every Saturday, expect Hunter x Hunter content straight to your feed. Sorry, I just stole that from New World Review, but you know what? I'm sure he won't mind. Everyone loves Hunter x Hunter. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below, though, any ideas for series or things you want me to talk about when it comes to Hunter x Hunter. I mean, maybe for a little while I'll just do one-off videos. Maybe I'll do series on Nen abilities, characters, villains, story arcs, whatever, you know. So just let me know what you want to see, you know. Just keep me posted. If there's something you want me to talk about, I'm happy to talk about it. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video if you did. Leave some comments below. Just tell me about what you want to see from Hunter x Hunter Saturdays. And make sure to subscribe for more anime and manga content. And I'll see you guys in the next one.